I'm so excited for the conversation we're about to have right now. And for background context, we just survived a fire drill, and the conversation we're going to have is going to be absolutely en fuego, because we have, let's give it up for that. Let's give it up for that. And the reason why it's going to be on fire is because in our community here, our Miami, over the last year and a half, our community has come together and has been able to unlock over $10 million in funding from the federal government to create a unique, first-of-its-kind coalition that we call the Miami Tech Works Coalition. Undergirding this entire effort is the idea, how do we close the tech talent inclusion gap? These companies that we see here, whether early stage or late stage technology companies, powering all of that is not just artificial intelligence, but it's something that I think is even more powerful, which is what I call HI, human ingenuity. It is people power, and that is what our Miami Tech Works Coalition is absolutely all about. And so in order to advance this conversation, we want to begin with a really, really dynamic exchange and a conversation with two leaders who are very much powering the future of where the 305 is going, both the leader of the largest college in the United States, President Madeline Pumariega, the president of Miami-Dade College. Let's give it up for President Pumariega. And also, let's give it up for Madeline. And also, let's give it up for Rony Abovitz, the founder of S.T.E.M and one of the most consequential founders to ever build not one, but two unicorn technology companies in our region. And now, Rony, welcome to the stage. All right, so I have to tell you that watching and being on stage with both of these leaders who I admire makes me feel like I'm watching Jimmy Butler play in Game 7. Do we have that type of energy in the room right now? All right, all right. So we know in our region, and President Pumariega, you have been leading upon this for so long with Miami-Dade College, powering, being the catalytic piece of workforce and so much in our community. When you think about your vision for Miami-Dade College, how do you think what you are building will impact the future talent pipeline in our innovation ecosystem and our business community more broadly?
Saif, thanks for being here with just great friends and great thought leaders, and to the MDC team in the audience, thanks. I pay them to come so that they could cheer me on and have the loudest, but yes. Because I think it starts, that's where it starts. It starts with the team at Miami-Dade College, which is relentless in innovation and in trying to make sure that the college is aligned to the needs of this community. But think about this, Miami-Dade College has about 2.5 million alumni. We have 125,000 students, and there's nearly 3 million households in Miami-Dade County. So if you think about what we have been doing and what we're doing, you'll see, that we continue to have the impact in this community as the workforce engine of this community. But when I think about what we've done in tech and in the future of work, I'm so proud of the innovation, because we didn't just say we're going to have this tech silo and this is going to be for the future computer science students. No, we said technology was going to not just be a vertical of a major, but it was going to be across disciplines. If you're a teacher, you need to know and have access to the best technology, because that's the future of our classrooms. If you're a nursing, in the nursing program, in the PA program, you need to know and leverage all of the technology assets out there for better patient care. And if you're an entrepreneur, you need to know the platforms that are out there to be able to build capacity for your business or for your innovation. So I think the college is really being thoughtful about doing that, and then just creating massive amount of opportunities for our students with the access to education, access to interns, and especially what we're doing around the Tech Talent Coalition and building tech talent around Miami-Dade County.
President Pumariega, it's absolutely clear that you and your leadership team and the governance that's supporting you absolutely get it around where our market is headed and the opportunities that we need to be unlocking for rising talent. And Rony, for a lot of us looking on, I have to say, as a point of personal pride, there's nothing like walking the floor of eMerge Americas on the 10th anniversary year with somebody who is the most consequential founder to build 2 unicorn companies in our market like Rony Abovitz. You got to give it up for Rony one more time. It's kind of like, I have to tell you, I sort of feel like C-3PO walking with Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that's...
Well, it was so hot, we set off the fire alarm.
There you go. Boom, boom. So, Rony, I want to jump right to you because as one of our region's leading technologists who's built not 1, not 2, and now likely 3 companies in our region, how are you thinking about the regional talent pipeline, and what scratched your imagination about Miami-Dade College as an example of that?
That's a great question. Can everyone hear me okay? First of all, Saif is C-3PO on steroids. So I felt like Obi-Wan, but it's like a Jedi's 3PO. So it's kind of a whole new class of 3PO. So 2 things. One, I'm super bullish on the region. I went against the grain and built, a big tech company, Mako Surgical, while I was in grad school at the University of Miami here, and everyone said, don't build a company here, you'll never get funded. It'll never happen, and robots won't work, and AI won't work, and all of that nonsense, and it turned out not to be true. So it's sort of like climbing up Everest in a snowstorm when people are trying to pull you down, but you have to have that stubbornness if you want to be a founder. So that was that. I built a second one, Magic Leap, and I'm working on a third one. So first of all, I think there's a lot of amazing talent in the area. Also, when you bring people, we brought a lot of people from outside Florida, from outside the US to this region who now live here. First of all, if you have that commitment to a mission, you'll come here. I always thought like Apollo. They went to Cocoa Beach to go to the moon. So people ask me, well, why are you in Florida? It's like, well, we went to the moon, just like 3 hours away. And now we can say, well, we built some amazing tech here. And what's really gratifying is to see like Miami-Dade, right? My view of Miami-Dade over the years has evolved amazingly in like orders of magnitude way. I walked around the Miami-Dade, like there's a corridor where there's like this like fintech studio and all this stuff going on. I'm like, this feels like the future Silicon Valley, the new Sand Hill Road. And you could just see the excitement of all these like really hungry kids wanting to make something happen. I was just totally blown away by what I saw at Miami-Dade, and it's like, it's basically a college for the whole community, open platform. Come here, do something. Many of the students are like first to go to college. That really blew me away. And the idea that yes, you can build something here in this side of the world, this hemisphere. Like that, I think our hemisphere here is like Miami, the Caribbean, Latin America, this whole wide hemisphere that's overlooked. Everyone's like about the West Coast. It's East Coast, let's do it.
Love that. I love that.
I don't want an East Coast, West Coast fight, but if they want it, let's bring it on.
So let's get nerdy for a second and talk about artificial intelligence, because Rony, you have a unique set of ways of thinking about artificial intelligence in this moment that we're in. And I want everybody to pay attention to this term, because this is a term that is getting birthed right here in the 305. You talk in your AI philosophies about this notion of the difference between computational democracies versus computational autocracies. How does this correlate to our talent pipeline? And can you explain a little bit about this idea and notion of computational democracy?
Yeah, if you take home one thing from at least what I say today, I'll try to explain why this side of the world should be the lighthouse for computational democracy, because the other coast is all about computational autocracy. And what I mean by that is computational autocracy is giant companies hoarding all data, all know-how in gigantic brains. They're going to slurp up your company and slurp up jobs. And they're saying, don't worry, it'll all be fine. It won't all be fine. And don't worry, it'll be universal basic income. I don't really believe that. Or an alternative to what they're saying. So the word AI right now means computational autocracy. And it's not a surprise that like autocratic countries on the other side of the Pacific are so intertwined with some of the things the Valley does. The Valley does amazing technology, but they've become like lords and kings, and they're over involved in this like control everything in a centralized way. Well, this is the United States. We're a democracy. So AI can be and should be a computational democracy. And this side of the coast, we should own that. And the company we're building, Synthbe, is hopefully an iconic computational democracy company. What does that mean? No one can get to control it. Distributed, modular, something that can weave in with people, not be destructive. And the best case study I ever had of that was in building Mako Surgical, which also started here. When I started to bring robots to the OR, everyone thought we're going to take away jobs. But the Mako robot was like R2. It wasn't there to hurt, it was there to help. And it became a member of the team. And right now in 2024, I look back, it's helped 1.5 million patients. It's got a 99% perfect surgical record. It increased the economics at every hospital that got a Mako. And it did not take anything away from the team members it worked with. That's like the grandparent of what I think AI should be. It should not be this big Borg that takes over. I think of that as the computational autocracy where a few people control everything and it just sucks it all into some giant Marvel comic evil villain kind of thing. Like, we should not be about that over here. We should be this beacon of light that says, we're the beacon for democracy, real democracy. And if democracy doesn't hit our software, if it doesn't hit our computing systems, which are going to run the economy, run our governments, run all sectors, there's no doubt about it. You're either going to be outdated and gone, or you have tech powering. So the real choice is, am I going to get overrun by tech? Am I a computational autocrat? Or I'm going to embrace democracy and make technology part of that. So that's what we're actually talking about. It's doing some amazing things with Miami-Dade on that.
Rony, let's give it up for Rony on that. The translation on that for all of us in Miami is it's computational libertad. So that is an easy way. Come on, Antonio, we got a little bit more than that. I need a little bit more than that. So President Pumariega, as the leader of the largest college in the United States, I know that you are constantly thinking about how to equip every single student and community member with the workforce skills of tomorrow. And not just what they need today, but what's going to make them competitive 5, 10 years from now. How are you approaching this from a perspective of scale, especially when you consider emerging technologies like AI are a function of creating relationships and strategic partnerships with industry? How do you and your team think through this changing and evolving paradigm?
No, I think I have to
use this. So at Miami-Dade College, it's in our mission, we're democracy's college. And that is because exactly we know the power of education and the power of opportunity is transformative. So many of our students are first in their families to go to college. But what the grit and persistence and resilience that they have is exactly the human skills that are going to be necessary for the future. And so they already come with those skills. They come with those life experiences. And how do we leverage those? We make sure they have the strong foundational academic skills, that they have the right future-proof skills around design thinking and communication and teamwork, and now that they also have the right digital skill set, whether it's cybersecurity, whether it's artificial intelligence, cloud computing. The one thing that AI has done is democratized information. Anyone and everyone can access information, but it has yet to democratize knowledge. And I think that that's what the future of education combined is democratizing knowledge and opportunity and leveraging the power of information that AI fuels so quickly. And so I think that's what we've done and how we're seeing it at the college. But I will say that in 2021, if you can just think, in 2021, we had 500 of our faculty go through AI training. Our Vice President of Technology, Partnerships and Innovation, Antonio Delgado, along with our deans, led that effort to have 500 faculty galvanize around AI. They were our English faculty, our humanities faculty, they were our nursing faculty, business faculty. In 2022, we put $100,000 aside, and we said, write grants that how you'll use AI in your classroom to enhance student success and learning outcomes. Do it. Just get creative. So in 2023, when we launched in Florida the first college credit certificate, Associates in Science and Bachelors of Applied Science in Artificial Intelligence, we've got nearly 700 people enrolled in those courses now, with the average age being 40. We didn't sit and go, hey, we're just going to roll out a program that we don't believe in. We started being believers and understanding that that's going to be the future of education. And so that's what we're doing at scale. We're not running a pilot program. We're doing this at scale. Any student that wants to take an AI course at Miami-Dade College can. Any faculty member that wants to use artificial intelligence in their classroom can do it. And now we're building capacity on using AI in every systems operation at Miami-Dade College. And that is really with the great support of our Board of Trustees. And I know Robert Alonzo is here and fueling the support for us to go out, be innovative, be aggressive, and go out after great innovative partnerships and investments.
Give it up. So we've got about 4.5 minutes on the shot clock, and I feel like I might be the Duncan Robinson, and over here you've got Bam and Jimmy Butler ready to bring us home, but it's all about collaboration.
Because what do you got, like 10 people backstage?
We have 10
which are
people.
really driving tech talent and the tech talent
That's right.
coalition
Let's give it up for them.
team.
Let's give it up for them.
I have to tell you, the army that's coming out that's focused on building tech talent is pretty impressive, and you want to hear from them.
Yeah, we've got a conversation that you will not want to leave. I promise you, you will suffer from incurable FOMO if you don't catch the conversation. There's nothing we can do for you about that. There's no amount of cafecito that will cure that FOMO. But right now, collaboration is what's driving our community. And I've had to be like a kid waiting to reveal something that these two leaders have a very, very unique partnership that they're about to announce right now on stage. If you want to open up your X app or your Instagram, this is the moment. So I'm going to pass it to you, Rony, to share a little bit about this historic announcement. So President Pumariega and Rony, who wants to sound in first?
Well, super excited and just grateful that we're able to announce a really unique partnership, multi-year partnership with Miami-Dade to partner S.T.E.M, what we're doing, this like computational democracy, creating an innovation lab, a S.T.E.M innovation lab, to make it accessible to students at Miami-Dade so that you have an idea, and how do we like amplify and supercharge you in a way where that idea, that know-how stays with you. Those S.T.E.Ms help you. They don't report back to the mothership. There is no mothership. And you're able to like take all these amazing entrepreneurs and give them the firepower to have asymmetrical advantage against any other place, to make this region one of the most interesting places for startups to happen, like anywhere in the world.
President Pumariega, how do you view this partnership and its impact on students, faculty, and stakeholders at Miami-Dade College?
I think it's historic and monumental because we know that if you can access, right, venture capital is king in entrepreneur space, right? Like venture capitalists, you want to pitch, you want to do all of that. What this has just done is built in venture capital, cultural capital, educational capital, economic capital in the ecosystem of Miami-Dade College. We've democratized accessing capital and being able to elevate human capital in our community to be able to go out and build the next generation of entrepreneurs, the next generation of tech companies, the next generation of ideas. And I think that's why it is monumental and will have a significant impact. The ripples of this partnership is going to absolutely take Miami to that next level. You've said it, the mayor has said it, Miami needs to be the capital of capital. And this is how you build an ecosystem that harnesses the most important capital in our community, and that's us. That's the human capital, and I want our students from Miami-Dade College to stand up. Because this is about fostering and creating opportunities for the future, that they have the belief system to innovate, to generate ideas, and that they have the support system right there at their college to be able to access it with an innovation lab supported by S.T.E.M and our Business and Information Technology Center and our entire team at Miami-Dade College, and especially the expertise, the thought leadership of an entire company, an inventor like Rony. You think about what we're doing here and that our students can be mentored by the best of the best. Think about a mentor in your life that transformed it, and that's what we're going to do for our community. So thank you for your generosity, thank you for your partnership, and thank you for your time and your talent. This is really unprecedented for, as you said, not a Silicon Valley university, not a Research One university, but a community college. And I want to say this, it's our community college because Miami-Dade College is the community's college. So thank you so much, and thank you to our students. You may be seated.
Well, friends, you heard it here first on the 10th anniversary stage of eMERGE Americas. Rony Abovitz, South Florida's most iconic founder, and his newest AI software company, S.T.E.M, partnering with Miami-Dade College, Democracy's College, in a company that will be defining for our region and building computational democracy. Let's give a 305 round of applause for President Pumariega and Rony Abovitz. Thank you both. I think there's a picture. We got to get a picture, Antonio. Want to? I'm going to step out for you guys.
Good. Thank you,
Let's give it up for them one more time.
Saif. Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I know. Let's go. So now, next up on stage, continuing the conversation as part of our Miami Tech Works Tech Talent Coalition, it gives me great joy to welcome onto the stage the Executive Director of Miami Tech Works, Terri-Ann Brown, along with a panel of Olga Naumovich of Millenium and Adam Wilson. Let's give it up.
Thank you, Saif. Hello, eMERGE Americas, and happy 10th anniversary. So I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of Miami Tech Works. We are a grant-funded initiative by the Economic Development Administration with the sole purpose of helping to build South Florida's tech talent ecosystem. And how do we do this? We bring together employers, academic institutions, and community-based organizations, all focused on one thing: building a sustainable tech talent pipeline that will create economic impact for employers, startups, large organizations who all want to build a community that is focused on driving the 305 forward. So today, I'm happy to have with me Olga Naumovich from Millenium and Adam Wilson, who's a student at Miami-Dade College. If there is any evidence that you need that Miami is a tech hub, I think you've just heard it in the previous conversation. There's a thriving startup ecosystem, there's entrepreneurship, there's investment capital, there's infrastructure growth, and more than anything, there's a thriving tech talent pool because of collaboration. So I wanted to start off the conversation by talking to Olga, who's our chair of our Tech Skills Gap group. Olga, if you can just share with us, what's your role at Millenium, and how do you, and since you've started here in South Florida, what impact have you seen as the chair of the Tech Skills Gap?
First of all, hello everyone, and it's just my second year at eMERGE, but even year over year, it's so nice to see so many more people, and it's such a great success, and it's definitely becoming more and more of a tech hub, which is exactly what Miami is trying to become. So congratulations to all of you. We're all community here, we're doing it together. So my name is Olga Naumovich. I am a head of technology for Millenium here in Miami. Millenium is the hedge fund with $62 billion under management. We have global presence, and in Miami, we're focusing on building our technology-focused hub. We're in the growth mode. Innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship is part of our DNA, which fits like and feels like Miami is exactly the place where we want to be. Technology is part of everything we do. I think I've been heard before saying that I can't really separate technology from everyday life anymore. I usually challenge people of saying, give me one example, what you're doing right now, which does not involve technology, like this second. Even like sleeping at night is still your iPhone, your watch, right? You're monitoring your sleep patterns. At this point, I think we're truly hooked into everything. Coming back to finance, I think it's even more important because I truly cannot say anymore where finance ends, technology begins. It's fully incorporated, which is becoming, to my last point, even more important, that STEM is always been important. I have a passion towards STEM. I do believe education will save the world. But STEM is becoming pretty much paramount, that people must be very fluent in mathematics, computer science, because that's part of living and what our life is going to become.
So Olga, I want to get back to that point later, because we are going to get into a little bit about the skills gap analysis, because you contributed a lot to the information that we use to build that out. But first, I wanted to jump over to Adam. You as a student taking classes at Miami-Dade College, you've obviously just heard that there's going to be a great program coming, a collaboration between Rony's startup and Miami-Dade College curriculum. Tell us a little bit about your experience as a student, and what does it mean for you as a student hearing about that type of collaboration in the ecosystem?
Well, if I was to put it in one word, I'd have to say sensational. It's been a very interesting and pleasurable journey thus far, going into the space, into the tech space, and I'm very excited to hear about that opportunity. And just to speak a bit about opportunity, Miami-Dade College has provided explosive, exponential opportunity in this tech ecosystem. And unlike anything that anyone has ever seen, it's why I chose Miami-Dade. I had opportunities to go to a number of different institutions, but I chose Miami-Dade because of what I see is being created in the tech ecosystem. I also partner with Miami Tech Works because it gives me opportunity to be in a very interesting spot as a student, as a professional, and as a part of the coalition, to see what's being built behind the scenes and to connect that with student engagement. So again, very excited about that.
So that's given me a good opportunity to plug Miami Tech Works and our ultimate goal in the community. So thank you for that. So our main KPIs is that we can help build a platform for students to get internships. Also help companies establish internships that maybe have never done so before, or enhance the current internship programs that they have. And the way that we do this is through our current working group platforms. I mentioned that Olga is the chair of our Tech Skills Gap group. And I have to thank her because the communication that we get from her has led to a really thorough tech skills gap analysis that we're currently in the process of completing. We hope to launch the skills gap analysis by early May. We'll be able to publish it to the community. But from early indicators, it's telling us that South Florida still has a gap when it comes to some key technology-related roles in data science, computer information systems, software programming. And if we don't do something about it now by either training enough talent in these roles or retaining talent in these roles, that gap is going to continue. So Olga, from your perspective, when you hear things like that there's a current existing gap, that gap is going to continue, what are some programs that Millenium has as an organization that can help entry-level talent get onboarded into organizations like yours? How is your organization as a newly landed company here in South Florida, making pathways for entry-level talent?
Thank you. We have many programs on site comment. Without your guidance, we would never get through the tech coalition. You heard us well there. It was your leadership that got us to the final product, so thank you. Yeah. Millenium has many programs. We really focused on building pipeline and diversity and providing all possible different opinions that will come into the room and will add to our innovation, creativity, entrepreneurship culture. But I want to mention two programs, partially because one of them is based in Miami. It's called, one of them is LEAD, and another is a global internship program. LEAD is a rotational 12 to 18 months program. We are providing opportunity for young professionals to enter financial services, especially if they're STEM based but haven't been exposed to financial services before. So they join the program, they rotate through different departments in technology and core businesses, and they also, in addition to it, we provide them with very, I would say, focused financial products training, also hard and soft skills. After that, they decide which particular part of engineering they're mostly interested in and go from there. The second program is a little bit, I think, more familiar to some of you. It's we call it Global Internship Program. It's a 10-week summer program that targets sophomore, junior college level. They join us for 10 weeks, usually also within core engineering technology. And from there, the best of them will be offered a full-time internship starting after they graduate. LEAD is right now Miami-based. Global internship program tripled since 2019. We have 150 people right now, and that program is offered globally. And we will continue doing that. And if I may, one more thing, Terry, and you and I have been talking about it a lot. All of us in the room, each one of us has to just a little bit, right? I don't think if we try to solve it from a high level, we will actually get to the same result. If every single one of us will take one intern, one person, focus on one. Among all of us, there are more than 20,000 people here, we definitely will achieve something.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, Olga. That's a really great point. I'm also going to plug that in here for the employers in the room. It really doesn't take much to create an internship program, and 150, it's really admirable numbers. For Miami TechWorks purposes, we'd really just love for you to start with 1 or 2 interns to really make an impact and to meet those KPIs. So Adam, I don't want to call out any age or anything. We tend to focus a lot on the entry-level students, but you know, knowing Miami-Dade College, those students tend to be a little bit more seasoned, let's say. So if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about your pathway to employment and how that might look different for really the population of South Florida. Not everybody is 18, 19 years old. Right. There may be some older folks, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's been a unique journey. You know, coming from a business development background and transitioning over into the tech space, it has been something that has been guided by many at Miami-Dade College. And so initially I started off in the tech space after the pandemic, and I started with like a boot camp, and you know, I thought to myself afterwards, I think I want more, you know? And one of my constituents in that boot camp actually ended up going to Miami-Dade, and I saw a post from her online, and she's like, hey, I'm at Miami-Dade. And I thought about it, I was like, you know what? I can go to Miami-Dade. And so I went. And I started with something that's called a certificate, college credit certificates. And so it's a stackable option for those who are getting started. And so it provides you a pathway. And so from there, I went over into, okay, well, there's an associate's program. Well, let's look at that. And then now I'm also looking at the bachelor's program. And then most recently, Miami-Dade has entered into certain agreements to provide a pathway to having a master's level degree. So you go from maybe almost kind of having a question of self to really being able to bring your thought and materialize it into the real world and actually become the change. And so I definitely look forward to what's next and what is to be had in this space.
You stole my thunder there a little bit, because I did want to talk a little about the collaboration efforts that happen when colleges work together. So collaboration not only happens between employers and academic institutions, but also amongst academic institutions themselves. So Miami TechWorks, we work with Miami-Dade College, FIU, Florida Memorial Universities, and for-profit training bootcamp providers. But one of the most impactful things that I've seen out of this grant is when articulation agreements are signed between Miami-Dade College and Florida International Universities that allow students like Adam, who are pursuing their bachelor's in data science, cybersecurity, but that can now go on to FIU and complete their master's program as well. How impactful is that from an employer standpoint to know that these colleges and universities are investing in higher level learning opportunities for students, resulting in a stronger talent pool in the marketplace? So we've got about 4 minutes left. I'd love to throw this last question out to you, Olga. What would you like to see come out as more collaborative efforts out of the coalition, or just hearing more about collaborative efforts between academic institutions or employers from your perspective?
I've been listening to a lot of speeches before I came on stage, and there are keywords that I keep hearing. So education, new technology, collaborations, it keeps going and refrain, and it's really important because at the end of the day, the new technology, collaboration, and us all working together, that's what's gonna get us to the next level. It's really important for employers to be closely communicating with the universities and colleges. We are very interested in diverse pipeline. We want to see the students to coming in prepared and having the right skill set, and that's the communication key. So we will continue building our relationship across all university spectrum. I'd say there's really no other way out of it.
Yeah, thank you for that. And you mentioned the word diversity. Those type of articulation agreements actually open up avenues for people that maybe didn't feel as though they could afford a master's degree previously. So thank you for mentioning that. And for Adam, somebody like you that receives the benefits out of those collaborative efforts between employers and academic institutions, what are you hoping to see come out of this talent ecosystem?
Well, I would like to see, in part, amongst other things, the vision of Miami Tech Talent Coalition realized, right? And I see that there is a top-down and bottom-up architecture that Miami Tech Talent Coalition is utilizing. I would say for those of you who are out there, perhaps students that are thinking about entering into the space, I would like to see that you take that leap. You know, bet on yourself. You know, get engaged, get involved. I've had a lot of students that will come to me and they'll ask, how have I been able to be successful thus far? And you know, that's what I tell them. You have to take the extra mile, go to that event, you know, meet that person, you know, enthrall yourself in the space. As far as on the employer side, I would say almost something similar, right? Immerse yourself in the ecosystem. So events, go to the events, go to the colleges, take that extra appearance. We recently had an event, Miami Tech hiring event, and there was still room. There was still room, there were still tables available. So every opportunity to gain exposure for your organization is going to put you that much closer to the talent pipeline that's being created.
Yeah, thank you. So, stole my thunder again. I was going to mention that Miami TechWorks over the last year, we've really committed to preparing the tech talent pipeline to meet employers' needs. We kicked off Miami Tech Month by hosting the Tech Talent Summit at Miami-Dade College. We prepared about 110 students with interview prep workshops, how to present yourself, how to review your resume, using AI to create a better resume. That was all in preparation for the Venture Miami hiring fair, where we had about 1,100 people prepared and ready to look for jobs. We're already hearing back that people from that hiring fair receive job offers and are ready to start their new job within the next week. We can only imagine, absolutely, that's fantastic news. So as we continue to build out on Miami TechWorks, our goal is to track 1,000 participants through their technology programs, place 500 in jobs, and we're asking for a more collaborative effort from you. What is a call to action? If you are an employer, there's room for you on the Tech Skills Gap Working Group, on the Small Business Capacity Building Working Group. We have 35 small businesses that have launched technology projects, either in building a website, creating a CRM, and the only way that they can do that is with engaging with tech talent. So there's plenty of room for everyone to get involved, whether you're new to South Florida or not. I challenge you to get involved in the tech talent ecosystem. So thank you very much. And thank you, Olga. So we're not doing this on our own. We have a whole ecosystem behind us made up of other employers. And I'd love to welcome them out onto the stage right now, led by Caryn Lavernia of Lab 22C, is the rest of our working groups led by chairs Ken Finneran, Charles Irizarry. Yep, come on in. Charles Irizarry, Selenis, Toia.
I'm leaving, right?
Yep. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Thanks.
Good job, Blair.
You can take seats.
Gotta follow the line.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We're gonna do a 7-minute panel with 6 people. These are the most amazing people here at the conference. I will say that. Other than Melissa Medina, I love you. Thank you for giving us this time. So the Miami Tech Talent Coalition has been in place for the last year. It's led by these amazing leaders. And our job today is to get you to join us. So we're going to talk about why you should join us. We represent 300 employers, academic institutions, and community-based organizations. And we know we're the one thing holding you from your 3 o'clock cafecito, so we're going to go real quick. So first, I want to introduce Toia Santamarina of Get Cities and Selenis Leguizamo of AWS, who lead our Inclusive Tech Talent Pipeline Working Group.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. In Miami, only 26% of the tech workforce is represented by women. We don't have data for trans and non-binary humans. But we do know that if you want a more productive team, then you need diversity of expertise, diversity of thoughts, and diversity of people. And that's why.
So as part of the Inclusive Tech Talent Work Group, we have created strategic roadmaps and hiring practices to support diversity, and more importantly, to create a more equitable tech ecosystem in Miami. So we welcome companies of all sizes to join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So you should join them. The QR code is going to be on the screen soon, and you can join our working groups. Please join us. Next, I want to welcome Reginald Andre. Reginald is a small business owner, owns an amazing cybersecurity firm, and he leads the Small Business Capacity Building Working Group. Andre.
Thank you. So as Caryn mentioned, I have a cybersecurity and IT company. And guys, we have a problem. And the problem is that we have great colleges and universities out there. They're producing great talent, coding, software development, programs, cybersecurity. But on the other end, you have the employers. And the employers don't know about what talent is coming out from these colleges. They don't know that these students that are now graduating can help them solve a problem they didn't even know that they had, because that small business owner doesn't even understand the technology. And then what happens is that the student gets discouraged and they leave the state. They go somewhere else. So what we're doing here in the coalition is helping bridge that gap. And that's where we need your help. if you're a business owner, we need you to join this coalition so that we can now tackle this problem head on and make sure that our students stay right here in South Florida.
Woo, Andre. Last but not least, some of the OGs of the coalition. I want to welcome Ken Finneran of eMed and Charles Irizarry of Brim & Co. To tell us about the Emerging Tech Talent Pipeline Working Group. Ken.
What better place than right here at eMerge to talk about the Emerging Talent Working Group and the work that we're doing. We are so pleased to be here. We've been operating this working group for over a year now, having regularly over 100 participants at our meetings. And yet what we encourage you to do is to get involved. You've heard from the other panelists, we need more employers. One of my favorite speakers says that words can inspire, but only actions create change. And so we want to be the change here for Miami, for the 305. We encourage you to get involved with us. And with that, I'll pass it over to Charles, who will wrap us up and tell us about some of the initiatives of our panel and working group.
Excellent. And with change and action, we're really putting our money where our mouth is. And so with the resources that we've brought together for the Miami Tech Works, we want to work with businesses to actually implement some of the ideas and technologies together with the talent that we're developing. It's not just talk, we're actually acting on this. So we're working with businesses on their particular use cases to implement AI use cases for them, how they can harness it, not just for large enterprises, but for small businesses as well. This is the time to take advantage of it. Miami-Dade College, as well as the ecosystem of universities that we're working with, are pumping out some great, educated, trained talent. Businesses for zero or little down can actually activate these resources for their businesses to activate better growth and better expansion for their business. So now's the time to join.
Thank you, Charles and Ken. So with 20 seconds left, I'm going to say it. We live in the best city in the world. Those of you who don't live here, you can join us. We'll let you know. But I want to make that a statistical reality. We all want to do that. And so the way to do it is to get involved. If you're an employer, if you actively hire people, you could drive the agenda. And by the way, this is a federally funded program. So you're not taking money out of your pocket or your company, your business's pocket. We are using federal funds to make this happen. I encourage all of you to get involved, and we will see you at one of our working group meetings soon. Thank you all.